To the second video, previewing. I'm going to be previewing Hawkesbury, Doomben, and Morphettville. Now, I'm only going to be doing a couple of meetings at Doomben and Morphettville. Obviously, their cards are starting to heat up now. So, as I mentioned last week, it's just to be, sort of keep an eye on some of the main horses to look at in terms of their carnivals going forward. So, we'll just be having a bit of a look into the main races that they have got on the weekend. Strictly speaking, tomorrow. Just as an apology, obviously in the first video I did mention that it was the meeting at Randwick. It's actually at Hawkesbury. I'm going to take you through the Hawkesbury card first. So if you want to bring out your forward guides and follow along, that would be fantastic. So just having a look here, I'm going to try and whiz through as quickly as I can, try and get you through all three meetings. So just the first race of the card at Hawkesbury. It was a sorry, let me get it up. It was a 2,100 metre race, benchmark 78. In this race, I like number 2 King Viv on top at paying $9. I think I can't really understand why it is paying the odds it's at. Gets that slight weight relief of carrying 60.5 last start. Only was just beat by Plymouth Road at Warwick Farm. A lot of these horses come out of that same race. Like I know for a fact, number 7 Bay and Gold comes out of the same race. Also, if I have a look, Free Fly 2 comes out of the same race. Yet they're shorter in the market. So for me, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So for me, King Viv at $9 is a really handy price. I'll be looking to take that. In for second, number 7 Bay and Gold. Now, I was on it that day at Warwick Farm where it just didn't get a run, only got out late, really finished off the line not quite nicely. So I've got in for second. In for third, number 8 Free Fly 2. I think it's a good chance. And I really do like the format of that race. I think that Plymouth Road race is the right form for this sort of race. In for fourth, number 9 Mac the Knife. It dropped back to the 1900 last start at Gosford. It was only just beaten by Mangione on that occasion. Now, it looked to be a sitting duck. It went out real hard early, so it came back to them and then gave a good kick again. I thought that was quite impressive for me, so I wouldn't be surprised if it bounces back here and they gave it that 1900 metre race just to sharpen up a fraction. And I wouldn't be surprised if it can come out win this race. So I've definitely got it in the numbers. I couldn't put it on top because I thought King Viv represented a lot of value, but Mac the Knife, definitely a big watch. Other horses I'll be looking at, number 4 Rakik. I think stepping up in distance, third up now. Definitely could see an improved run from it. Number 5 Ombudsman could be an improving run. Again, stepping out to the distance. So I'll be looking at, they're probably the 6 top chances for me. But yeah, I'm pretty confident number 2 King Viv on top. In for second, number 7 Bay and Gold. In for third, number 8 Free Fly 2. And in for fourth, number 9 Mac the Knife. I'm pretty sure you can beat. They will be the 4 in the finish with number 4 and 5 not far behind them. In for race number 2 on the card is the 1500 metre benchmark 78 race. For me, I've got this is probably one of my better bets today. Number 4 Bastia has barrier 1 now. If you go back and watch the replay of last start at Gosford behind white boots, it was a horror show. It just was scraping that rail the whole time, was bursting for a run, just could not get out. And for me, I think I can really forgive that run. It comes back to Hawkesbury, has a great record at this track. It's had a win and a place from 2 starts. I think $5 is a nice bit of odds to take. In for second, number 5 Chalmers. I think this has got the best form of the race, so I am quite interested in its chances. It was only 0.6 for the length off bobbing, really closed on nicely from the back in that race. Before that was really ran quite well over the 1200 at Newcastle behind Golden Tycoon, and decent race there. So I see its chances being quite good here, third up, and definitely will be in the finish. In for third, number 3 Harmadden, very consistent mare for James Cummings. Was good last start. Was only just, really did charge nicely off midfield to just get nabbed by white boots, who just kept kicking. Really strong horse up on the speed. Before that it was only 2 lengths off Samara in a Group 3, so it's well placed for this race. I just thought, as I said, Bastia was in that same race, and Bastia looked to be travelling really nicely, just didn't get that run. So for me, Bastia was the more logical selection, but Harmattan will definitely be in the finish for me. I also got in for fourth, Look, bit of a throw. I think they're definitely the top three. They're the top three in the market. I definitely think they're the three to beat. But I do like number 9 stock up. I think it could be a good chance third up. Was chased nicely from the tail last start at Wyong. Steps up to that 1400 meters. 1500 meters now, up from the 1350. I think it can be a good chance to finish in the placings. Finish in the top 4. So just recap the numbers. I'm pretty confident in the top 3. So you're playing a quality. I reckon you could probably put those 3 in as your legs. So number 4, Bastia on top. In for second, number 5, Chalmers. In for third, number 3, Harmattan. And in for fourth, number 9, Stock Up. Third race of the cards, the 2-year-old race, over 1300 metres. Very keen on this number Kim War runner, number 1 from coming out of barrier 1, 2-year-old Gelding out of Rubik is number 1, Erno. Was really impressive at Warwick Farm 2 weeks back. Really got challenged, kept finding that kick. I thought that was quite impressive. And before that, won its maiden, so I think it can win again today. It looks like it'll get a decent time on the speed as well. It doesn't look to be too many horses that will go forward, so I think the race just plays into its hands, and I think it can win. Despite the short odds, I'd still be keen to go after it. In for second, I have number 8, Jailbreak, presuming off a break, and had a nice trial that last one at Randwick. Really, looked to be going quite nicely. Ran in some pretty strong races last prep behind Unite and Conquer and Pinsec. It's good form lines there. I think it will get a nice time if it just lobs either on the leaders at the leaders girth, or if it just sits just in behind the speed, should be able to get a good run on. In for third, number 7, Antonio Pradre. Finished just behind Erno last start, 2.6 lengths, so I expect it to be in the finish again. And in for fourth, number 6, Scheibenart. This horse for James Cummings is 2-year-old colt. Thought it was quite good closing off at the line at Gosford behind Iskander. Some good odds at start. I think could definitely see a bit of improvement from it. So I've got it in the top 4. Just recap the numbers. Number 1, Erno on top. In for second, number 8, Jailbreak. In for third, number 7, Antonio Pradre. And in for fourth, Scheibenart, which I think I could see a bit of improvement there. And that might be the one to go at the odds. But be pretty confident with those top 4. Nothing against number 4, Creator. I just think that wide barrier might be a bit of an issue. And for me, $5.50 just doesn't seem the right price. I would have more thought it would have been around that $10 mark. So for me, I'm pretty confident the 4 I've got in the selections. Fourth race of the cards are first the group racing at Hawkesbury. On top, I've got number 2, Manicure. Manicure is coming back from group company. Obviously, ran in the Coolmore Classic behind Dixie Blossoms. Before that was finished third behind Alassio in the Thoroughbred Stakes Group 2. So it's coming out of some real good racing into this race. It couldn't be any better place. It's been in the money. All of its starts so far this preparation. I think today's its day. Gets the job done under Jason Collett. Gets barrier 2. Which I think is quite a nice plus. If you have a look at the speed, there looks to be quite a bit of speed in the race. So I think it'll just be sitting in just behind, probably maybe midfield or just in behind the speed for that barrier 2, because Multaja will probably drop back. So it'll probably get the run of the race. And if it can get out, I think it wins. So I've got it on top to beat number 3, Irathea, who I think, again, will be on the speed and was a great effort. Kicking on, was just beaten by White Moss last start. White Moss has been flying in this autumn carnival in the Sapphire Stakes at Randwick last start. Second up stats are fantastic for Irathea, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the finish. In for third, I've got number 4, Zumbalita, at $26 odds. I can't believe that this has gone out so far. I thought it was sort of didn't run too great, but it was 4.6 lengths off White Moss first up. But second up stats are great. Four starts second up, a win and 2 thirds. Racing some great company, group company last preparation. I think it's a good chance. Zumbalina, I can't believe it's really drifted that far out in the market. I think it's great odds to take. In for fourth, we've got number 6, Mortaja. Barrier 1's going to need some luck, and I don't like how there's not going to be, may not be a whole lot of speed in the race, but it's definitely a good chance. It's run to come right over the top of him, beat into the abyss last start was a fantastic win. and then before that one at Hawkesbury. So it's got the ability and definitely is the winning form on the board. I just have that little bit of concern this time in. If you're looking at playing quaddies, first fours, I'll definitely be having number one Peakins in the numbers. Has fantastic first up stats record and has won at this track twice. Just for me, it's a big step up in class. I know it did tackle similar company last preparation, but for me, it's just got to win at this group company before I can definitely, look at backing it going forward. But I wouldn't leave it out of quaddies or first fours, that's for sure. And number 5, Aqua Divina, I think it will be in the finish as well. So the top 6 in the market look to be the 6 ones, that for me are the top chances. I can't see any of the bottom 3 getting too close to it. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident of the top 6 and confident of my 4. Race number 5 on the card, I'm skipping over that one. For me, I've mentioned this before. I obviously last week did quite well in getting the highway meeting last week. But look at this one. I'm not too keen on anything. Probably if I'm going to go to 1, I would probably look at number 1, Legion of Boom for Brett Kavanagh. I noticed it was scratched during the week. In preference for this race, it was really good last preparation. It was a bit disappointing first up. I think it can bounce back from that. As I mentioned, just that scratching of during the week and bring it to this race, I think it could be a chance. So that's probably just the one that I'd go with for race number 5. Haven't had a whole heap of form on that, but I did notice that Legion of Boom was scratched during the week for this race. So looking at it at $8 looks pretty nice. Race number 6, listed race over 100 metres. Look, Tactical Advantage looks so hard to beat. $2.15 is quite short, but look, fantastic second up stats. As trials have been brilliant going into this race, so I can't see much wrong with it on top. This looks like it's a good race for it to win. There's a lot of speed in the race, so should be able to come in off the good speed, really hit the line well, and should be able to go right over the top of them. So I'm pretty confident with it on top, even at the $2.15. In for second, I have number 6, Intuition, who is coming off a nice win beating Alberman at Kembla Grange in an open race there. Had a nice tick over trial just to come into this race. So I think, and again, it'll come off the strong speed. Should be able to close into the race quite nicely. $9.50 looks pretty good odds for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see it come out on top win. Of the on-speed runners, I do like Jungleized. It has never missed a place this track. 2 starts, a win and a placing. Had a nice tick over trial after. It was a bit disappointing behind Easy Eddie last start in the Maurice McCartan Stakes. Before that, though, its form was fantastic. So if it can return to that form prior to that run, I think it will be well in the chance. As I said, a lot of speed in this race, and for me, that's a little bit of a turn off. Because I just think that it could be trapped wide. It's got that wide barrier to deal with. But if it can get across, Corey Brown get across 53 kilos, it could definitely give a good kick away from those other leaders, and perhaps give those chasing him a bit of something to run down. In for 4th, I have number 3, Badajoz, paying some good odds here. Its first up stats quite good. It's won at this track before from its only start. Again, just like I said, it will be coming off the pace more than likely. All 3 of James Cummings' Godolphin runners will be coming off the pace, so I think the race will be run to suit. And first up, I think it can give. Be within the numbers. Another one that I'd be looking at, I wouldn't definitely be leaving out, is number 4, Spinning to Win. The only reason I don't have it in is because the wide barrier. It's likes to go on the speed. It may get caught deep, but its first up stats are terrific. Like, it's never missed a place from 5 first up, and last time out it won really well at Caulfield, beating Eduardo, who's quite a good horse. Runs in some Group 1s this preparations autumn. So I'll be looking at it as a chance, but for me, I couldn't put in my numbers that wide draw and have it liking to be on the speed. Look, they may drop it back, but it's even still, I can just see it being wide no matter where it's going to land. So for me, it's too much of a risk to put it in, but I'll definitely have it in for the quaddie or first 4. So just to recap the numbers, on top, number 1, Tactical Advantage, quite confident it wins this race. In for second, number 6, Intuition, with Rachel King on board. In for third, number 9, Jungleized, and in for 4th, number 3, Badajoz. Race number 7 on the card, Group 3, Hawkesbury Guineas. This is the feature of the day. I'm quite keen on number 2, Military Zone. Was keen on it first up and got absolutely crunched at Gosford into $1.80. Had some huge support just got way too far back, and they weren't really coming on from the back that day at Gosford. So I'm willing to forgive that run. It's 2 from 2 second up, so it really does look to place quite nicely here. Obviously, last time out was second up. It won the Gosford Guineas, so I could see it returning to form here. It looks to be a bit of speed on as well, so it should be able to come on. Won't get as far back, not as big a field either, so I like its chances here today to win with J Mac in the saddle. In for second, I do like number 3, Quackerjack at nice odds. It'll be on the speed. I thought its win at the Kensington track first up was really good as a gelding, and I think it could be one of those horses where it promised a lot, ran some really good races as a 2-year-old. And maybe the gelding might just be perfect for it, so I'm really keen on its chances as well. In for third, I do have number 9, Kylese, who's a real big boom horse, will be on the speed, has done absolutely nothing wrong up until now, so I definitely think its chances are really good. The form behind it's really quite nice as well. Charatera has come out once since, so I do like its chances. As it looks to be a lot more speed on this race, and I think Military Zone might be a bit of a better horse than it. So, but I can still see it being a chance. So you got to have it in the numbers. And in for fourth, I have number 5, Trope, who for the Hawks team has run quite nicely. Really did close off nice behind Cacique Legend last start in the Arrowfield Sprint. Before that was again only just beaten by Prophet's Thumb. In the 5-ball stakes. So it's been racing really nicely, Trope, and this could be the race where it comes out and wins. So I'm very confident that as those are the top 4. Looking outside of it, I think number 1, Ranier has gone on a bit of a drift, but it's been racing group company all the way up until now. So I only two at 1 lengths off Ring Inning last start. Finished, did close quite nicely, hit the line nice. So I could see it being in the finish, but I'm relatively confident on the top 4. So just recap numbers. Number 2, Military Zone on top. In for second, number 3, Quackerjack. In for third, number 9, Kylese. And in for fourth, number 5, Trope. Race number 8 on the card, the Group 3 Hawkesbury Gold Cup is the other feature of the day at Hawkesbury. And for me, I've actually got number 2, Tommy Melbourne on top. It is hard to tip him to win, but for me, he's got the form of the race. You look back, he's got form on wings before. He got beaten by Wings. He beat Flow by 2.5 lengths. That was a great run up on the speed. Then he got too far back, closed off behind 50 Stars. And then last start he was quite good, gave a decent kick, was just beaten late by Mr. Seawolf. So I think it's a good chance here stepping up to up to the mile. Obviously last start it went round in a 1500 metre race, comes back to the mile. I think it's a good chance to win Tommy Boy at $6, and you just think he'll be in the finish. He's a consistent galloper, so he is quite a safe bet to do. In for second, I have number 10, Zorkan. I think this horse can improve. It's a big step up in class, but it was really good finish by Star of the Seas. Now, Star of the Seas was disappointing last week, not winning, but probably had some excuses. But I thought that run was fantastic by Zorkan, and stepping up to the mile now will suit. It won at the mile last preparation, was in good form last prep as well, actually. So I can see Zorkan being within the finish, and I like it carrying 53 kilos. In for third, I've got number 3, Aloysia. I think Aloysia, it's been really hard to follow. Obviously went around as the Oaks favourite 2 years ago. Look, it was decent behind. It was really good in that Doncaster mile. Finished 5th in that race behind Dixie Blossoms. It was a fantastic run. I think a lot of people expected to run a bit better last time out in the that good run was in the Coolmore, and in the Doncaster mile last start was a bit disappointing. I think it can bounce back though. She comes back onto the good ground. Look, there's no track rating for it tomorrow, but I'd say be in the soft to good range, and if it does hit that good track, I think she's a good chance. So I've got her in the numbers. In for fourth, I have number 4, Chaonic. I think. Number 11, Archidemus. Now, nothing against Archidemus. I mean, it got some good form. Last time out was beaten two lengths by Bobbing, but I just think this is quite a big step up in class. And for me, $3.70, I can't really see why it's at those odds. It's a decent, quite a good horse for Glenn Maxwell, and he's obviously, Glenn Maxwell, Gwenda Markwell. So I saw G Mark M well, and I thought, okay, Maxwell, I'm thinking of my cricket there. Um, but yeah, look, if currently carry 53 kilos, I can definitely see it being the finish. But I think there's a few stronger ones in this race that it has to come up against. It has to get again, similar like a runner earlier. I just said that I need to get the runs on the board at Group Company before I can start getting into it. So just to recap the numbers, for the Hawkesbury Gold Cup, number 2, Tom Melbourne on top. In for second, I've got number 10, Zorkan. In for third, number 3, Aloysia. I can see an improved effort from her. And in for fourth, number 11, Archidemus. I wouldn't be leaving out number 8, Snitsun. Quick backup for it. Obviously, just never really came into the race by Marlunga last start. I'd be forgiving that. I'd be giving it a decent chance this time around. And also, number 1, 60's Groove is resuming. And I know its first up stats are pretty poor, but last time out first up, it actually ran really well at Ballarat behind another Coldie with carrying 61.5 over the mile. So, and its trials kept leading have been really good. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if it's in the finish. I wouldn't be leaving it out. Neither would I be doing with number 4, Chaotic either. I could see it's just got barrier 1. It's going to go back. It doesn't look to be a whole lot of speed in the race. I'm not sure if it'll be able to come on off that sort of speed. But I would definitely be leaving out the numbers in the quality or first fours. So that's the Hawkesbury Gold Cup. The last race of the day is a 1300 metre race over benchmark 78. On top here, I have number 9, Signal Fox with J Mack on the saddle. It was a little bit disappointing last start. Not disappointing. It ran quite well actually behind Fasika. I was only 1.5 lengths off. It was a really close, tight finish in that race. I thought it was a good run. And before that, it was only 2.1 lengths off Renewal and was 0.5 of the length off Echo Jet, who it meets here, but it was carrying 61 kilos that day. Tomorrow will be carrying 56. Echo Jet will be carrying 59, whereas when it beat Signal Fox, it was carrying 59.5. So huge weight swing there. I think that favours Signal Fox on top. In for second, I do have number 1, Echo Jet. So I like that form line. Echo Jet's won twice this prep. Third up, looks to be beat Realm in Ruby last start, which was a nice win. So I could see it improving again, but as I said, Signal Fox, I like that weight swing considering they were quite close together in that last start that they faced each other. In for fourth, number 2, Wagner. I can see it'll be on the pace or maybe just off it. Obviously, it ran up to on the pace when it won at the Kingston track. Then last 2 starts been sitting around midfield. So we just see where they take it, coming from barrier 4. If you have a look at the speed map, it looks to be quite a lot of speed in the race, so they probably will sit in that normal spot of just around midfield or towards the back. So I can see it running a good race. In for fourth, I have number 15, Chalk. This horse has got pretty poor first up stats, but for me, coming in here, Brock Ryan's 3 kilo claim gives it 50.5 kilos. Got that barrier 1, it could give a good kick, and so with the light weight, you just never know. So I've got to put it in the numbers, but pretty confident on the top 3. So just to recap, number 9, Signal Fox on top. In for second, number 1, Echo Jet. And for third, number 2, Wagner. And in for fourth, number 15, Chalk. Now just going over to Doomben tomorrow. Eagle Farm. Sorry, not Doomben. If you want to just have a quick look to the 5th race of the card is where I'm having a look at, and I've done the form for. I like number 11, Yitai Synergy. I thought it's 2 trials have been excellent. It's won them both, and it has looked really good. Started as a favourite at Randwick back in December, and it was disappointing, but you got to think of the support that day. Got it right into $2.40 off the back of some nice trials. I think it's got a lot of ability. I think it can bounce back to its best here. And $4.60 to find out with Karen McAvoy on board, I think is quite good odds to take. And that gets barrier 4, which I think is a good barrier to take. Number 5, Deep Sea for Mark Noonan. Look, nothing against it. It'll be right in the finish as well. Hasn't had a run since it won on the Kesington track, being famous. That was a storm from the back. It was a great run, nice win. Has been has been well held since then actually. So that was back at the start of the month. So it hasn't raced since. I'm really interested on his chances tomorrow. I think it'll be right in the play. Number 2, Garibaldi. This horse obviously, won nicely at this track, Eagle Farm, over the 1,000 metres. Then went down, was beaten 2.6 lengths by Tenley. So I can see it coming back to Eagle Farm, running a nice race. Number 2, Garibaldi. And in fourth, I have number 2, Devil's Temptation. It has the wide barrier to deal with, but that debut run on the speed was fantastic. And looking at this race there, it looks to be a bit more speed in it, hence why I don't have it on top. I think the other runner's got a bit more ability than it, but I could see it being in the finish. So just to recap, race number 5 at Eagle Farm. My numbers are number 11, Utai Synergy on top. In for second, I've got number 5, Deep Sea. In for third, number 2, Garibaldi. And in for fourth, number 3, Devil's Temptation. Skipping ahead, I'm looking at race number 8 is the Group 3 Gunsid Classic. I like number 4, Napoleon Solo here to beat the short price favourite Gem Song. I just think they finished quite close together last start. Fasika, they were all in that Fasika race, which was the South Pacific Classic. And I thought that run was great by Napoleon Solo. And actually, it only just finished just behind Gem Song. So for me, there shouldn't be such a big difference in the market, in my opinion. So I've got it on top, number 4, Napoleon Solo, to beat number 1, Gem Song. In for third, I have number 5, Starkers, who beat Southampton last start, was really well backed that day at Ipswich for Chris Muntz. I think I can see an improvement from it at some nice odds. Really did close off nicely from the back. In for fourth, I like number 12, Bell Rock. This also won nicely at Doomben. My only concern is its track record isn't too flash, but I could see it being running quite a nice race in behind them. So pretty confident the top 2. Number 4, Napoleon Solo on top. Number 1, Gem Song in for second. In for third, number 5, Starkers. And in for fourth, number 12, Bell Rock. Race number 9, the Tab Victory Stakes. Redzel looks very hard to beat. $1.75. Might be a little bit difficult for some to take, but I think it's definitely going to win this race. It's the easiest it's faced in a while. There's a lot of speed in the race, and hence for that, obviously he does enjoy that quite a bit. But that speed in the race, I am having a bit of a saver on number 5. I'm excited. He'll be getting back in the field and coming on, and we'll enjoy that hot speed to come off. Look, since its first up run, she's been a little bit disappointing. In his 2 runs since, but fourth up now, it's going to be rock hard fit, and as I said, going to get all that speed to come off. I think it's a great chance. Number 6, I'm Winter Bride in for third. It's got all the speed to deal with, but it has got back the advantage of barrier 1. So I think it should run a nice race and might give a good kick. Just in behind Redzel. And in for fourth, I do have Fiery Heights. I don't think. Look, it usually does go forward, but I think they might maybe just sit it just in behind with a bit of cover. If we can get that cover, you have a look, its form lines are pretty good. It finished 3.2 lengths off Easy Eddie, 4.2 lengths off Siren's Fury last start. So it can give a good kick. I think $41 is massively over the odds. So for me, I'm very keen on Redzel, number 1, to win. But number 5, I'm excited. Great chance of all that speed in the race to come on from the back. Number 6, Winter Bride in for third, and in for fourth, number 3, Fiery Heights. Now, going across to Morphettville, there's a few nice races on the card over there tomorrow. There, obviously, Carnival's just starting to heat up now. They've got the first race on the cards, the 2-year-old Group 3 How Printing Breeders Stakes. Like I mentioned earlier, number 3, Kuru Up. I think this horse has so much ability, and that win at Sandown was fantastic. Surprised there's been too much support for it, maybe because the form behind it isn't fantastic. But I think it's the real deal, this horse, and I really am keen to back it again. So I've got it on top to beat number 4, She Shall Fly for Tony McAvoy. Was quite good finishing off behind Lil Contra last start. Before that was 4.5 lengths off Le 10 and 0.5 length off Pelican. So it's been around the money. I think it can run a good race. In for third, number 1, Memphis Rock. Now this horse ran really nice behind Muse, and you should be able to get that form line off. Hang on. At Caulfield tomorrow. Which horse is it? Let's have a look. Behind Flow Star. So Flow Star runs nicely. Sorry, it'd be the other way around because Memphis Rock will be racing before. And so if Memphis Rock runs a good race, I'd be very keen on Flow Star again because that would give that bit of decency to the form line. So I'll be looking at that, but I'm pretty confident those 3 on top. But number 5, Grand Scholar for Tony McAvoy, should run a nice race. Was beaten by Unite and Conquer up the Flemington Straight. Was pretty well supported that day. It's had a nice trial since then, so I could see it improving. So I'm pretty confident those 4 on top for me. So just to recap, number 3, Cooey Rupp on top to beat number 4, She Shall Fly. In for third, number 1, Memphis Rock, and in for fourth, number 5, Grand Scholar. Skipping ahead, if you can go up to race number 4, there's a couple I like in this actually as well. The benchmark 82 over the 1300 metres. I'm quite keen on Prepare to Win at some nice odds, $18 odds. It's been some nice races. I mean, it was beaten by Miss Vixen last start. Was on the pace. Beat my Villa start prior, but I think it can improve. Chelsea McFarlane's 3 kilo claim brings it down to 51. They decided to take it to the lead, which, looking at the speed map, I suggest they might because there's not a whole heap of speed in the race. So I could see Scottish Rogue and Lucky Fish going forward. I think it can give a good kick and actually, be a real good chance to win this race tomorrow. So I've got it on top to beat number 8, Scottish Rogue, who, as I mentioned, will probably get the sit on the speed or just in behind them. Was really good winning last start at Morphettville behind Easy Beast. So I've got it in for second. In for third, number 12, Private Land. If they overdo it, it'll storm home from the back. Was quite good in that race behind Scottish Rogue 2 weeks ago, coming from the back. So I could see it running a good race. And I could see number 7, Lucky Fish, sticking on from the front if they get an easy time of it. Was beat by Mandela Effect, who goes around Caulfield tomorrow. So we should be able to weigh up the form lines there. But it has won here at this track before at Morphettville. So just to recap the numbers for the 4th race of the card. I like number 10, Prepare to Win at good odds with the lightweight. In for second, number 8, Scottish Rogue. In for third, number 12, Private Lounge. In for fourth, number 7, Lucky Fish with Deck Collector. I think Deck Collector will go close. Was again good behind Guy Trash last start. So I'll be adding it into the numbers if you're playing the quaddy or first fours. But I'm pretty confident on those 4 to top the market for the 4th race of the card. Race number 6. Sorry, if you can skip that. It's 1400 meter listed race. I'm quite keen on number 8, Set to Sparkle, to win that race. Was really good being missed